Hey everybody, today is the day for the video you have all been waiting for. If you are a homeowner, I have finally gotten my hands on the vehicle that I think everybody really needs. It's the first ever dual motor, 4-wheel drive, 100% electric wheelbarrow. Up front, things look pretty basic. We have our typical wheelbarrow proportions with the slanted front end right there. And then the model that we're driving has quad tires. Yes, you heard that right. 4-wheel drive and quad tires in this dual motor electric wheelbarrow. Now, as we go on around to the side, let's check this thing out here. In terms of overall length, this comes in right at 65 inches, including the e-stop on-off knob right there. That means that this is actually right in the middle of the wheelbarrow segment in terms of overall length. Also right in the middle of the segment is this tilt wheelbarrow bed right here. This is an 8 cubic foot bed, a 10 cubic foot bed is also available, and this one has the manual dump option. Interestingly enough, a power dump is also available. Moving around to the rear, we find one of the things that makes this rather unusual when it comes to wheelbarrows, and that is that this is a rear steer system. So you'll notice it's the rear wheels that are actually doing the turning, not the front wheel. Diving under the barrow, you'll find the twin motor electric system. One motor in the back, one motor in the front, pretty logically right there, and it's driving all 8 of these wheels via 2 open differentials. Now I have to admit, I really wish they'd put a locking differential or a limited slip differential in here somewhere. Powering this whole system is a 24 volt, 21 amp hour battery. We don't have official horsepower or torque numbers, but I suspect this is going to come in right around the neighborhood of 3 horsepower total. Charging happens via this 5 amp charger right over here. No J1772 port or anything like that. It's a standard wall connector, and it will take about 5 to 6 hours to charge this battery completely. According to the manufacturer, that's good for 5 to 6 hours of operation, obviously depending on how fast you go. When it comes to overall seat comfort, it's important to remember that Granite Industries says you're not actually supposed to sit on this. But if you do, I'm going to give this about 1 out of 10 points. We don't have any power adjustable lumbar support. You know how I love that. We also don't have a multi-way adjustable driver's seat. Instead, we just get this bin right there. And I suppose you could tilt the bed out of the way and sort of ride on it kind of like that, but that becomes even less comfortable after a while. The seating position is relatively important because this, of course, doesn't have power steering, and you are going to need to find a good purchase on this handle. Taking a quick spin around the interior, it's important to remember that we do have some options on here, so the base model is going to look a little bit different. You'll notice that even in this upper end trim, however, we do have a decent amount of hard plastic on the inside. Now, on the bright side, hard plastic is generally going to be a little bit more durable than slush molded plastics. That's why we don't really find them in wheelbarrows. On the driver's side, the dashboard is fairly simple. We don't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto support in this wheelbarrow just yet. Hopefully we'll see that in the next version. This is the forward-backward gear selector switch, and then we have a very simple on-off knob. You can, of course, push it in to stop it and then turn it or pull it to start it back up again. And this is the throttle right here. There is a very handy fuel gauge on top, and it is an LED display, which is something that I like. Out on the open road, you're going to notice a few things right away. The first thing you're going to notice really is the instant torque that we get from the electric motors. Now, in the interest of safety, Granite Industries has reduced the initial acceleration of this vehicle a little bit. So the motors have a soft start feature and a soft stop feature with an integrated brake. So this really is a true one-dial system. So if you're out there looking at a Tesla, remember, Teslas are not true one-pedal driving. This is one-throttle driving. We just release the throttle, it comes to a complete stop regardless of the slope that you're on. Now, max speed does top out at 3.2 miles an hour for this dual motor version. This is the faster and more powerful version of the electric wheelbarrow. If you were to get the single motor version of the wheelbarrow, then speeds would top out at 2.4 miles per hour, so there's a pretty decent difference between this and the 2-wheel drive version. Although I was unable to find one from my local dealer, you should know that the tire size also is going to play an important role in overall handling and likely acceleration and top speed as well. There are 3 different tire packages. We have the 8-wheel version, there's a 4-wheel version as well, and there's a model with turf tires that's probably going to be the better handling option out on regular pavement. When it comes to our overall ride score, I'm definitely going to give this model a D- because it is relatively uncomfortable out on a rougher road like we're on here. We also get a D- when it comes to overall cabin noise. We clocked 71 decibels at 3.2 miles an hour. On the bright side, fuel economy comes in a solid A. We've been driving this for about a day out here and maybe about 1.5 miles of overall distance. We have received relatively good economy. The battery has just gone just below half level, and of course it's hauling my fat ass around as well. As I mentioned, one thing that we don't see in this model for some reason is a limited slip differential. Depending on the terrain, that can be a little bit tricky because you'd think that an 8-wheel drive electric wheelbarrow could tackle something like this slope, but it really doesn't. We do end up getting stuck. And because of the way the electronics control system functions in this wheelbarrow, it also ends up limiting power, and that's something that we really don't like here at Alex and Autos. In addition to the lack of traction control, we also don't have any available safety systems like radar adaptive cruise control, autonomous emergency braking, or blind spot monitoring. Bottom line, this is really more of a utilitarian vehicle, so if you're looking for an enjoyable ride through your favorite winding mountain road, this probably isn't going to be it. But if you're looking for something that can haul 8 cubic feet on relatively uneven terrain, this might be something to look at. So how much will one of these babies set you back? Well, the base wheelbarrow model starts at $2,295 for the 2020 calendar year. That's going to get you 2-wheel drive, the turf tires, not the 4-wheel drive or ag tire setup that we have on this particular model. As with many modern luxury vehicles, it's important to not get carried away with options if you have a budget in mind, because you can get this baby up to $3,995 if you choose the power dump option. Now, I'm not sure if that's an option that I would choose. I think that I like the overall value sweet spot of this model that we've been testing this week right here, the 4-wheel drive model with the manual dump. Everybody loves power dumping, and manual dumping just isn't quite as much fun. But there's another thing to keep in mind. If you get the 2-wheel drive version, I'm not quite sure why these options are mutually exclusive, but if you get the 2-wheel drive version, then you can get a side dump in addition to the front manual dump. And that's not an option that you can get on this one. Obviously, if you're looking for value, you should run out and get something like a True Temper wheelbarrow. It's going to have 1 or 2 wheels rather than the 8 that we find on this model. But as with many things when it comes to luxury segment purchases, you are going to pay for the extra features that we find on this particular model. As always, be sure to let me know what you think about everything down there in the comment section below. And if you were shopping for a wheelbarrow and you had about $2,000 to $3,000 to burn, would you be interested in looking at something like this model right here? Or would you save some cash and go for something like that True Temper? Let me know down there. Be sure and find us over at facebook.com/AlexandAutos. Be sure and head over to Instagram as well to see the lighter side of Alex and Autos, and I'll see all of you next week. Because we don't have power steering, so that means...
Why did you stop?
Because I started laughing, and it's supposed to be totally serious.